Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to this week's episode of the Thank You Bro podcast. We're a little late. We took a week off. A lot of stuff has happened, and we're going to get right into it. Will, are you ready to talk about Tobias Harris? Big money contract, a lot of big moves. That's a big move. Reunion, homecoming in Detroit. He's going to bring a lot of veteran leadership to that team, and I think you're going to want to see how Cade Cunningham develops underneath him.
Cade Cunningham is not underneath that door.
If that's not the worst thing I've heard in the last
worst podcast
week.
Open I've ever heard. That's the worst thing you've ever done.
Tobias Harris was brought in to mentor Cade Cunningham. Yep, I'm really moved there.
We'll make the graphic.
Maybe he can teach these young players how to make $302 million in 13 years.
Yeah. He definitely can. That is, and you know who's his agent? I'm pretty sure his dad is his agent.
Wow.
So
keep the money.
It worked great for Kawhi.
That's good.
Keeping it in the family. Worked great for Vince Young too.
Did it?
No, it went really badly actually.
Anyways.
Yeah, it went terrible.
But that's okay.
You know. It is okay. Yeah, so lots of big moves still happening. Gary Harris, as we were talking, just signed.
No. Don't say big moves and Gary Harris in the same sentence ever again.
Gordon Hayward's still on the market.
Gordon Hayward might end up in a Celtics jersey, man. It might happen.
Does J.D. Davison surrender 20?
Oh my God, J.D. Davison is going to be on the first flight to Japan. That dude is garbage.
Is he taking a
Japan's
vacation?
Probably being too nice. He might end up in Shanghai. Dude, he's terrible. No, he's awful. But he's great for the vibes. So if the Celtics brought him back, for the G League Celtics,
he's an NBA champion.
Speaking of Shanghai, did you see all this drama with Noah Vonleh?
Yeah,
Trailblazers legend.
That was crazy.
Or anything.
Yeah,
he's owed checks from like 2021.
Yeah. So shout out Noah Vonleh. Hope you figure it out, man. Anyways,
you should just come back to the NBA.
I promise we're going to get to the good stuff, but we have to address the elephant in the room, which was Noah Vonleh. But
Well, you brought up Shanghai, and so I felt like that was topical. The one and only appropriate time.
But really, it is good that we waited an extra day because we were going to do this episode yesterday on Sunday. And
there's been a lot.
It would have been made irrelevant immediately. Instead, we have a lot of some big news, mostly just fascinating news. I don't think we've seen anything that's going to shift the race for the championship. Actually, maybe the biggest thing was Hartenstein going to the Thunder. I think the Thunder are like definitely the favorites coming out of the West. You had some old guys, some old names moving around. You had Clay to Dallas. We'll get into that. We'll get into Paul George switching coasts, going to Philly. As a Celtics fan, I love that because at one point in time, the 76ers will be paying a 38-year-old Paul George upwards of $50 million. And
terrible.
I can't wait for that. Even if Paul George is still a valuable player right now.
Pacers. Sorry. Did the Sixers not learn from James Harden? Did James Harden not teach him anything? I don't know. The four worst ran organizations in the NBA, and we see this again, are the Lakers, the Sixers, the Nets, and
but
who do I want to throw in there last? I don't know. I'll think of my last one.
But I guess what they did learn was that you can trade any contract. And I guess that's true. You can trade any contract. You may have to attach some stuff to it. You may not get anything good back in return, but I guess there's a great chance that Paul George probably doesn't finish out this contract in Philadelphia. Maybe in 2 or 3 years, they ship him out to Detroit or a team that can take on a bad contract. So, I don't know.
Isn't it crazy? This is going to be, am I reading this right? His 14th season in the NBA. Have we reached UNC status?
Oh, we've been. Because
I remember watching 2012 playoff Paul George, 2013 playoff Paul George against Miami.
I remember watching him snap his leg, watching the blue and red game for the Team USA.
You know what I just saw?
You're sitting saying Paul George is washed.
You know what I just saw, Will, on Twitter right before we hopped on? I saw that the Spurs signed Jameer Nelson Jr. to their Summer League roster. So, yeah. We're up
really?
there.
Shout out Jameer Nelson from last episode.
Yeah.
Oh my
Willed
God.
it into existence?
Great. Wow.
Maybe.
No.
I guess so.
No, didn't.
He will never play a minute in a Spurs uniform.
You don't know that.
But I wouldn't say no to that.
Austin
you guys
Spurs
have employed some weird players in recent years.
Yeah, but I think that time is nearing its end. The time where we're starting to see that.
Well, you got Chris Paul. You've got
Celtic
rumors about Lauri Markkanen.
That's not happening. I hope it doesn't. I really don't. There's no point in trading.
That would be huge.
There's no point in trading draft capital.
You just acquired more draft capital by getting rid of Rob Dillingham, which was maybe a mistake, but
questionable at best. Yeah, very devastated hearing that. But Stephon Castle's still good.
But if you get rid of Keldon Johnson and a couple picks and
if we were able to get rid of Keldon Johnson and Zach Collins for Lauri Markkanen and some picks, and you know what, I'd be ecstatic about that one. Honestly,
you would love that move. You would definitely.
I would love that
jersey.
Move.
The jersey would be in your cart tonight.
The Chris Paul jersey will be in my possession by the end of September, whenever he gets his jersey number announced. We're waiting on Keldon Johnson getting traded. So
yeah, it's got to be number 3, right?
It has to be.
There's
right?
no way he doesn't get 3.
Spurs fans rejoice if you owned a Brandon Paul jersey because it's relevant again.
Would Brandon Paul have qualified for our draft last week? Our guys up next draft? Would he have qualified for that?
No. No. Okay. Brandon Paul's highest scoring game that year was 20 points.
It's not bad.
He was up next.
Yeah, for China, I guess. Shout out.
Yeah.
There's no shame in that.
Hey, you know what, though? You made it to the league.
It's more than you can say.
There's no shame in that. Better than us.
I don't know. Have you seen Spence at LA Fitness?
I'll give you 20.
I need to go hoop with Spencer again. My foot's feeling a little better.
Oh, that's good.
I'll give you
glad to hear you on the mend.
20 over the course of 5 games.
Yeah, over 5 games.
You're still getting
devastating.
I'm getting there somehow, some way.
Yeah, so I don't know if the Spurs are able to pull that off. Then sure, I just don't see it happening. The Spurs consistently like to not disappoint me, but they like to make moves that you wouldn't think of.
They like to be conservative.
Around. Yeah, and that's understandable. It's fine. So I'm not upset. And whatever the Spurs do, I'll trust that they're doing the right thing. So you know what?
They've never let you down in the past.
Anyways, let's move on.
Not once.
Well, a couple times.
Shout out Kawhi Leonard. We wouldn't be in this situation. Actually, we would. No, we wouldn't. We would be stuck in 8th seed with Kawhi wanting to not play every other game.
Yeah.
So it was for the best.
Pretty much.
All right. So I guess we have to address it and we'll get to other stuff. The biggest draft pick of the draft coming in at number 55, which is LeBron James Jr., Bronny James.
We didn't have a draft recap episode, did we?
No, we had to do both. We're doing both.
Oh, God.
No. Yeah. So we're going to start a draft right now.
Can we start at the top of the draft before we get to the garbage about Bronny?
Yeah, we can do that. Let's do that.
Let us warm up first.
I wasn't sure how we were. Yeah, I wasn't sure how we were wanting to.
Well, I have
this episode.
a good idea for a segment.
All right, go ahead.
Ryan gives us his breakdown of the number 1 overall pick, Zachary Reese-Shea, because I know that Ryan has watched hours of film on Reese-Shea, so he knows what the Hawks just brought into their locker room.
So they brought, and with the first pick in the draft, the Hawks obviously took Zachary Reese-Shea. Good player. You know, They took, with that first pick, a third option at best on a middling team. But no, he's not bad. He can space the floor. He plays good defense. He, he's a good ball handler, active, getting on the boards. He's a good scorer. And that's kind of where we're at. I drafted him in my league franchise a while back. And he was fine. Pick? I took him with
At what pick?
I think I took him with the 8th or 9th pick.
Yeah, that's where he probably should have gone.
Yeah, and he worked out great. Would I have taken him with the first pick? No. But then again, I wouldn't have drafted anyone with the first pick this year. I would have traded out.
That's fair. That's very fair.
All right.
What are your thoughts on France producing 3 out of the top 6?
Yeah.
It's kind of a weird.
What are they feeding them over there?
I feel like it's just trendy to take the French players right now. I mean, one of them's bound to pan out to an extent, and I think Risache is going to be good. I think he's going to be a fine player in the league. I think that he's going to fall into that difficult category of being taken first when he probably shouldn't have been taken first. Not to the extent of Anthony Bennett, but I don't know. I don't. I hope it doesn't hurt him in the long run. I thought Sarr was going to go first. Another Frenchman.
I thought Sarr was the better pick there. It's not like there's no win-win and there's no lose in that scenario, if you know what I mean. Because I feel like they're all going to kind of pan out to be at least the top 10 picks, probably just all middle of the road role players in the NBA. There could be a few exceptions. We saw that in 2000 draft, and we saw that in 2014 draft. So,
well, I can tell you Jokic which one of the top 10 is going to be a bum.
Draft.
Number 8, the 8th pick in the draft, Zach Edey, Memphis. What are you doing?
Ninth pick.
Nope.
Ninth pick, my bad.
I thought you were trashing Rob Dillingham.
You were dumping on Dillingham.
Like, oh, my bad. No. I love Dilly. I've watched a lot of film on that one, too.
Yeah, what happened to Zach Edey? Why did Zach Edey, before the tournament, he definitely was regarded as, maybe a late first, maybe even a second rounder. He goes in, he has a meaningful tournament, good run. Nothing changes. He plays the same way he always does. And he just has this huge jump. And I know this draft is weak, and I know you might want to take a gamble on a guy who was dominant in college, but
his combine numbers were really good, surprisingly enough.
Yeah.
His physicals were actually really good for someone his size. He had a 7'11" wingspan, 9'7" standing reach, and his they said he was a lot more conditioned than a lot of the bigs. Which, if you're going to have a guy run around there for 30 minutes a night, you're going to want him to have some energy in the fourth.
Oh, he ain't playing 30 minutes a night.
Well, if you draft him 9, you have to expect him at some point.
You might hope, but I don't know. I would just trust the actual game tape we have on him, which in college, he was an incredible player, but how does it translate? He's not going to be doing the little baby hooks that Purdue allowed him to do.
No, because in college, there's not a consistent example. Purdue and Texas, when that catastrophe of a game happened, Texas's biggest man was 6'8", and that was pretty consistent in college, where they're the biggest guy on the team, 6'8", 6'9", and you're 7'4". Well, in the NBA, you have KP, Wembanyama. You got a bunch of 7-footers out there that are bigger, stronger, faster than anyone they've ever played against. It's just not going to translate. And you're not going to find your way into a foul baiting match with other NBA players. They're going to figure you out. They already figured out players like Luka, and for foul baiting techniques and all that stuff. SGA has been figured out for foul baiting. So his style of play is just not going to.
He just seemed heavy-footed to me. I don't know that he's going to be able to get back quick enough. He can't stretch the floor, so he's going to be living by the rim on offense. And so getting back in transition, I worry about him. I like this Memphis team already. I think they're fast. I think they're quick. an explosive team, and I think they just added like a very heavy-footed, slower guy at center. I don't think he's going to be some big lob catching threat either. I don't know. It's a confusing pick to me.
Yeah, I don't think that he's going to be. I definitely agree with y'all that his game doesn't translate to the NBA. But especially the Grizzlies, like their whole play style, their whole MO, their team, it just does not fit Zach Edey at all. Now, I will say though, maybe I'm wrong. I saw on Grizzlies Twitter that he's going to be the perfect Wemby stopper for them. And then he's going to be putting Wemby in hell. So, there you go. Maybe that's why they
said the same thing, that Ja was going to dunk on Wemby. And sure, maybe Ja got a little bit of Wemby's shoulder that one time, and then Wemby blocked. I mean, it's no. That Grizzlies team's good, though. It's a good team.
Yeah, it's a
solid 7 seed. But it's a tough West. So 7 seed, you're going to have 48 wins, 50 wins. Going to beat up on those bad Eastern teams and the couple bad Western Conference teams to get to that point. If you thought this year's Western Conference was balanced, just wait until next year. So, I wanted to say, is Jaren Jackson Jr. a free agent? No. Okay, I can't find him on the Grizzlies roster for whatever reason. There he is. They switched his position.
Oh,
I was looking for him at the center.
Oh no, he's only like
he was listed as a center last year. So, anyways, he's not going to get playing time. Edey's not early on.
Oh, I don't know. I mean, I guess he'll try to.
I mean, not a lot. Probably 12 minutes.
He'll get some
garbage time.
He'll get some run. Should we, instead of going pick by pick on the draft, should we all just make our favorite?
Yeah, I'm not going pick by pick.
Well, should we just declare our favorite pick?
Sure. My favorite pick was still Topic at 12, even though he tore his ACL. I don't know. Obviously, it's a scary thing to take a young guard who tore his ACL, but and he went to the Thunder. Great. The Thunder just added another potential, not star, but great player that can really fit their system. So the Thunder, Sam Presti might be the best GM in the league, even better than Mr. Stevens over there in Beantown.
Oh,
I'm just saying his rebuild is absolutely
one has a ring.
Yeah, and one has come back to this in a year or in 2 years, and we'll talk about it again. But the trades that Presti's made, I mean, Presti turned Paul George into. You've seen that list: 6 picks, some players that are still in that. I forgot who, and the SGA ended up being one of those. I mean,
but rebuilding and winning are two very different.
Presti's an incredible Topic is my pick. Draft. Like, he is so great at the draft, but he's been doing this for a long time, and no rings yet for Oklahoma City. Now that's unfortunate because they made it to the finals in 2012. They've been back a bunch of times. Ryan, is Ryan speaking?
Are you good?
Cutting.
Yeah, I thought I was tripping. Yeah. It's his internet.
Oh,
good. You were super delayed.
Yeah, I wasn't sure what's going on there.
Ryan Internet Fund, it's still open.
It is. Bring me money.
Taking donations. All right. So, yeah, that's my pick. And you're right. So, I guess Stevens won, but Presti up there. Anyways, Topic is my pick. I feel like teams just let the Thunder get another player that really just fits with them. And that's concerning if you're not a Thunder fan. So,
well, the Thunder do this. They're familiar with this formula. Take the guy they didn't take Holmgren when he was hurt, but I think they're comfortable with doing this now because they are obviously in position to win. And Topic wouldn't impact their chances too greatly right now. And I think they can let Topic
when he comes back,
be around the team for a year. Piece. And he's going to be like an advanced rookie because he'll have spent the year watching the game from a NBA sideline, being with the team for a year prior.
See how it turned out with Chet. Worked out well with him.
This is also like a Josh Giddey replacement in a way. playmaker who's like not a great shooter, but hopefully Topic comes along a little bit quicker in the shooting department. But good choice.
Yeah, but I always thought Topic kind of reminded me of Tony Parker a little bit. Tony Parker came into the league not a good shooter and really developed that jump shot as he went along. And I think Topic is probably going to do the same thing. But he's also a little taller, a little larger than Tony Parker was, which is why I was bummed San Antonio had 2 chances to do it. And they did not do it and traded Dillingham, which I thought could be the fail of the draft. But we'll talk about that later. So, Spencer, you go ahead. Give me your best pick, and we'll go to Ryan afterwards.
I'm going to go to the team that I hate maybe the most in the NBA, the Philadelphia 76ers. They took Jared McCain at 16. I think McCain has one of the highest floors in this draft. Like, he's not going to be a superstar. He's a bit undersized at 6'2". He's not really a point guard, but he's not, he doesn't really have the size to play outside of that position. But he is maybe the best shooter in this draft outside of Reed Shepherd, who, of course, went number 3. Mm-hmm. McCain was like, he came into Duke, 5-star prospect. He struggled for like the first month, but by the end of the season, he was probably their best player, and took them a little bit deeper in that tournament than they probably should have been. He's going to fit in great. He's going to be, the way that the Sixers play. Now they got Paul George. They're going to always have at least 2 stars on the floor between Maxey, Embiid, and George. And then they have guys now to space the floor. They let Tobias Harris walk. That's a addition by subtraction move right there. And then McCain, I just love his personality. He's just a winner. He's just great guy. And obviously a little bit of Duke bias here. But I love that move. Good player. Hate the team. But can't lie, Philly has made some nice moves this offseason, even if I don't love the Paul George contract, letting Harris walk, bringing George in. They still have cap space to play with.
Yeah, it's not like George is washed.
No,
yet.
Not by any means. Not yet.
See.
He's still very, very, very.
It's the length of the contract is what I don't like. I love the signing. All right, Ryan, go ahead.
So I wanted to first say I think Reed Shepherd to Houston is awesome. I think that's going to be really good for them. But my favorite pick in the draft was probably number 7, Donovan Clingan to Portland. I think that he's going to fit in really nicely with Scoot growing with him. They have DeAndre Ayton. How much he can learn from DeAndre Ayton, I don't know. But I think that the Trailblazers really needed to take a big man here, and I'm glad to see that they did. I like Clingan. I thought he had a chance to go top 5. Of course, it was a weird draft where 1 through 10 could have been shuffled in any order, and it would have been like, that makes sense. Yeah, I like Clingan a lot.
Do you think they hang on to both Ayton and Robert Williams? And
I think they're probably going to try to ship off.
No, Robert Williams is gone.
He's the odd man out there.
Robert Williams will be gone in a year, at most.
Maybe
if they can find somebody to trade
could
with
be.
him. He's
Spur.
You don't want him. Man.
He's actually if he was healthy.
Yeah, it kind of works in the system.
It's great next to Wembanyama,
but he can't play.
His sheer tenacious, like his, the way he plays defense. The way
it sucks. Great. He is a game-changing player when he's on the court. Total, like, teams have to change their entire offensive set
in those playoffs. Wasn't he?
Yeah, he was amazing, but he can't stay healthy.
What a shame. Yeah, I was about to say, I remember Williams logging some good, meaningful minutes. Oh, see you, Spencer. Hey, what do you think Spencer's got over his why he's got his TV covered?
I don't know. Maybe that's a reflection sort of thing. Or maybe he's afraid of, maybe he just watched The Ring and he's afraid of that demon child coming out and killing him.
Yeah, I heard about that movie.
Yeah. Maybe it's not.
Anyways, yeah. I also wanted to mention, this is my honorable mention. Dalton Connect at 17. I thought for sure he was going top 10.
Yeah, that was a good pick.
But the Lakers got a reliable shooter that they needed. And some decent size. I mean, 6'6", 210. Good size. He's not a good defender, though. But, I mean, if you can knock down threes, who cares? And they need them to knock down threes in meaningful moments because D'Angelo Russell and Austin Reeves are clearly incapable of doing so.
It is painful that they got Connect at 17. He is one of the best scorers. He probably is the best finished product in the draft. I mean, obviously he's a little bit older, but if you're LA, you can afford to take a guy who's older. You're not looking to develop a superstar at the moment. You just want somebody who can contribute and kind of eat some innings for LeBron during the season. And they got a great shooter. I know they're bummed they didn't get Klay Thompson today because that would have really added to the shooting, even though he went over 10 in an elimination game. But
we did not forget.
Hey, I love how that's all anybody has said for 3 months. Now he signs with Dallas, and now it's like, oh, this is a huge
great
move for Dallas. So great. It's like, actually, they got
Twitter's
worse.
awful.
You just got to watch the diva
on-ball defender for nothing. They got rid of Josh Green in this deal. They had to, no way. I mean, Klay is still, don't get it twisted, Klay is still a meaningful player. He shot 39% from three last year. He's not giving you much defensively at this point. You can't blame him. His knees and his entire lower body is shot, but still a terrific shooter. But I mean, I don't think Dallas has made a great stride this offseason.
No, they went to the finals and got worse, just like they pulled the Suns.
Just like the Suns, just like Milwaukee, just like Denver. These teams are it's so refreshing for obviously being a Celtics fan, but making it to the championship, winning the finals, and then doubling down and reinvesting in the team that got there. I mean, Denver let KCP walk this year. They let Bruce Brown walk last year. Their depth is shot. Milwaukee drafted a guy who's 17 years old and averaged 2 points a game for the Illawarra Hawks. That's a gamble.
That's a big gamble.
No idea what is going on in some of these front offices as soon as they make a finals.
I mean, crazy. I guess if you're going to make that pick for the draft for the Bucks, I guess this is the right draft to do it. Because I mean, they did pass up on Filipowski, which I'm surprised went in the second round.
Can we talk about his grooming case, his Mormon thing?
Oh God!
Yes,
and then he gets drafted by Utah, the most Mormon friendly.
Yeah,
terrible.
The Mormons made a call.
They did. Weird. They had to have.
John Smith. What's his name? Who's the guy? Who's the head of Mormon? Whatever.
John Smith. Yeah, Joseph Smith.
Yeah, John Smith. Yeah, Joseph Smith made the call.
He's been dead for 200 years.
That's a crazy story. I don't care. Don't you own your planet in that? Anyways.
What?
I heard you own a planet in Mormonism. I don't know.
Are we theorizing?
Shout out Utah. Anyways, I'm not getting into that.
Utah did have a really good draft. We got to shout that out. Which is maybe more reason to get off of Markkanen, even though he's still young. But I don't know.
I don't know. It's just such a risk. I mean, Markkanen's an established star, but
he is an all-star.
That's why I use star loosely. I mean, what are we calling? I mean, we get. I mean, we're seeing role players getting paid $25 million a year. So I mean, at this point.
Yeah, he only makes 18, which is a huge value. That's huge.
What? How much? There's 2 years on his deal left?
This will be the final year.
Oh, okay.
So his payday is coming up.
And then he's getting paid.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, maybe you want to rebuild as Utah, so maybe you do dump that contract off to someone who, I mean, they're not going to re-sign him. It's tough, though. I mean, Utah's in a pretty tough spot.
So I guess we
Utah draft.
Do we need to jump to the second round and talk about Bronny?
Sure. But I want to talk about his teammate first because Utah drafted him. And I thought Collier dropping to 29 was pretty shocking. Yeah. I know he had a really bad stint at USC, but I blame USC's coaching, really. I think USC did a terrible job at developing their stars.
That team was a dumpster fire.
Yeah. I mean, and did they fire everyone, right?
I'm not too sure. I don't keep up with it, but yeah, Collier came out of high school as the number one guy. And then it just seems like everybody had a bad time at USC. So if that's the case you're going to make for Bronny, it's part of it. I mean, it's USC just sucked. That whole thing was just disaster.
And you can argue Collier, if they let high schoolers into the draft, Collier would have been a top 5 pick last year.
Oh, easily. He was regarded as one of the most premier prospects.
So I think Utah did a great job at they were probably shocked that he fell to 29 as well. They were probably celebrating.
Huge. It was a huge deal.
Great pickup.
They also got Cody Williams.
So what? Cody Williams?
What a group. Oh, that's a great draft.
Yeah, that's a great 3 right there. That could be something, really. So I think you do walk from Markkanen. I just don't know what his asking price is. How greedy are the Jazz going to get?
Danny Ainge. It's probably a 3 or 4 first round picks type of deal.
So, I mean, if you're the Spurs, do you really want to give up 3 first rounders? And
the answer be careful. No. Danny's going to try to kill you.
2 7-footers who can space the floor. Markkanen entering his prime. Wemby a couple years away from it.
Yeah, but then you're as the Spurs, you're going to have to get on your hands and knees and pray he re-signs.
That's part of it.
And do you want to pay? I mean, do you want to pay for not a super max extension, obviously, but he's going to be asking $35-45 million.
I don't know. I just know that the Spurs team is like close. They're knocking on the door of a playoff, and you have a guy like Wemby. It could be, you never know what could happen. You never know with injuries how things shake out for other teams. Yeah. You just don't want to over-exaggerate your window.
The Grizzlies were.
You don't want to do that.
Yeah.
You don't want to look at this as like a 15-year window. You just want to go for it. But I digress.
I wish it was a 15-year window. It would be very nice. Would be nice.
Never is.
Not everyone's Tim Duncan. So.
No.
But yeah, let's talk about Collier's teammate. And I hate I want to start on this because as the LeBron James merchant. No, I only want to say this. People were calling him Nepo baby and things like that. I honestly agree that if you slapped on a different name on Bronny, he would still be drafted. He maybe drafted next year. I think if it wasn't LeBron's son, he wouldn't have opted to go to the draft this year. But I mean, he's not the biggest guy, but his physicals were among the top of the rest of the Spencer. You're such a dick. He's a great defender. He's got the locker room experience already. He's been around the game his entire life.
So have all of these players.
What do you mean, Ryan?
All of these players that were drafted have been around the game.
All these players have been
life.
in NBA locker rooms. Not the way Bronny has been.
Okay. So he was sitting in an NBA locker room as like a 5-year-old kid.
Yeah, do you know how much you can absorb from an NBA locker room compared to
He was getting to hold Larry
schoolers?
Hughes' jockstrap as a child. That's great. That's exciting. But no, I don't know.
Ilgauskas even.
So here's my thing. It's fine. Like nepotism happens everywhere. It's part of every industry, every facet of life. It's fine. There's no shame in it. You're okay. But he would not have been drafted. What are you talking? Wait, hold on. Everything cut out. Because, What'd you say?
Oh, it cut out? Oh, that's perfect. Yeah. I guess we'll never know.
Fitting that Ryan would love nepotism. Of course you're
okay. I wish I could benefit from nepotism.
I know. I wish I could. No, keep going. You're right.
No, yeah, but he wouldn't have been drafted. He sucks. He's not a good player. He doesn't have great physicals. He had a heart attack last year.
Okay.
No, and I don't want to be a dick, but that's a real thing.
He had a heart attack last year.
It's a real thing.
He was cleared, man.
Cool. That's great. But, it's like, I don't want to take a risk drafting a kid who's not really good at basketball.
It's the 55th pick.
There are a lot of other players available.
In the worst draft in history.
There's a lot of other players available that had better statistics at better schools and don't have heart problems.
Let me name you. That's crazy.
I'm just saying.
Let me name you the 4 players that were picked, the 3 players that were picked after. Kevin McCullough, how do you say his name? McCullough from Kansas. Kevin McCullough. Ulrich. I don't even know how to say that. This guy's from Cameroon. 6'10". Ulrich Chomchi.
I would have taken him.
I would have taken him too. He's not
Ariel
5'11".
Hook Porty.
Hook Porty.
Huck Porty?
Okay, the
Hook
one
Porty?
case is probably
Who?
Kevin McCullough. Like Kevin McCullough is actually like maybe he's a great scorer.
Kevin McCullough's pretty solid.
But he's not going to get reps with the Lakers, right?
No, he's going to South Beach. Who cares?
It's fine. It doesn't matter.
Like,
that's what I'm saying.
If they take him at 55, like they're not going to play him there. Bronny, it pains me to say this, but I think Bronny might pan out. Like he might pan out.
That'd be cool.
He might.
I know that one hurt you.
He's going to be in the most nurtured spot he would ever be in. He's got LeBron on the team, obviously.
His dad is LeBron James. That's what I'm saying.
His dad's
no one else's dad is that.
Is the coach. J.J. Redick's the coach. They're gonna on night one. They're gonna play him. They're gonna put them out there together. It's gonna be this is the coolest thing ever. It's gonna be an Instagram post.
Gonna be all over it.
Awesome. Yep. It's gonna be glazed. They're gonna sell the jerseys. They should do a combo. Buy a LeBron, get a Bronny James jersey like half off.
They probably will do that.
And yeah, it might work out. He's not going to be as good as Drew Holiday. Like that would be like his absolute ceiling, and I don't see that happening.
I believe that it's his ceiling. Yeah,
disrespectful as hell to say that he will absolutely be Drew Holiday. Like that's ridiculous. But people like Nick,
it's not disrespectful to say he has a chance to become someone like Drew Holiday, though.
No, I mean, like I said, like that's his absolute ceiling. But odds that he hits that.
That's a not bad ceiling.
No, it's an all-star, 2-time champion ceiling.
All defensive player. Yeah. So
but
so
I'm not upset about him getting drafted though. It's fine.
Glaze, So and then Hader is our lineup there.
Yeah, you are Le Glaze.
I'm like I believe that Bryce James is not the second coming of LeBron, but definitely going to be the better player.
Oh my god!
Oh
you
yeah,
see Bryce James is like 6'7".
He's got the body for it.
If I was Bronny, I'd be pissed.
Yeah.
What happened?
That sucks.
Huh? He's got the butt. What are you talking about, man? It's kind of. Anyways,
no, he's got a great body for basketball. Unlike Bronny, who's 5'11". And has
get off. He's 6'11". He was measured at 6'2".
No, was he?
He was listed at 6'5" at USC, and then he got measured at the combine.
They're going to put Bronny in a chamber, and he's going to have a growth spurt. They're going to do something. They're going to give him like leg extension surgery. They're going to do something.
I mean, if they can revive LeBron's hairline, then surely they can get Bronny an extra inch or two on his height. Yeah. So. All right. Speaking of LeBron, he's now reported he was going to take a pay cut. Now he's not. Now he's saying he's going to take a pay cut if they can get DeMar DeRozan.
Ugh.
So,
God,
that's an awful move. Personally, Lakers proven again why they suck. This Lakers team is an absolute mess. But let's talk about free agency. We could talk about the Lakers a little bit, but I kind of want to talk about big splashes that have happened. Yeah. Like the Paul George splash. Like Hartenstein. Hartenstein's a medium-sized splash to OKC. And I think he really completes that OKC team. That's a great team.
Not by name, but by impact. That's the biggest thing. Like that team is already a 1 seed. They're already solid. They got Caruso. Do not forget they already got Caruso.
They got Caruso.
Trade. Now they get Hartenstein. That team is absolutely like who's scoring on that team? Like Boston, maybe Minnesota. No, probably not. I don't know. They're just so good. What we saw in
Minnesota against Dallas. I mean, I'm not convinced of anything there
defensively.
Oh yeah, they have SGA. They got. I mean,
it's incredible.
What a crazy team.
And they got to re-sign some of their guys for some team-friendly deals. I mean, they had a great offseason. Yeah.
I don't think they can't make any more moves. I don't think they have any. They're pretty much out of cash now.
They're tapped out now.
They don't need to make another one.
But they're done. Yeah, they got everything.
And now you can already accelerate what was an accelerated rebuild and it's looking good. Next year, I think I'm going to throw out my prediction now. I I think we should always throw out overreactions and predictions, assuming Spencer left. Assuming all else is healthy, though, I think it's Thunder Celtics in the finals next year. And I don't think that's a crazy thing to say.
It's not. But just because I don't know. I look at the West and you say it's super great and super competitive and difficult. And it is. It's very competitive. But is that because all the teams are amazing, or is that because all the teams are fine and they're just beating each other up and then they get fed to the Celtics?
Don't compare them to the Celtics. You have to compare
them to the
Celtics
best
didn't
team
exist,
in the league.
The teams in the – but I'm just saying, leave it out for a second. These 15 teams in the West are significantly better than the 14 teams in the East. And you just it just so happens to be that the best team, arguably one of the best teams in NBA history, sits at the top of the Eastern Conference. And you saw what they did. They dismantled every team they played.
That's fair.
I mean, it's just the West is the better conference and the East has the best team. That's kind of been a trend. A little bit. But oh hey, you're back.
AirPods are just crap in the bed right now.
Yeah, you need to invest in some Beats or something, man.
He does have Beats.
So yeah, that Thunder team looks really good. They also got Wiggins coming off the bench. They got Dort, Jalen Williams, Isaiah Joe, Cason Wallace off the bench. I mean, that is a deep team. So, any of those guys could easily be a 6-man on a pretty good team. Especially, they could start for the Lakers, that bench. So
that's not saying a lot.
It's saying enough.
It says something.
Lakers are going to coast again, end up in your 7th seed, play the Nuggets, lose. I mean, we already know what the future holds.
The Lakers are going to be a fun team to see, with the JJ Redick thing, with the Bronny thing. Like, there's going to be good storylines coming out of it. It's a great team to have on the final year of the Inside the NBA show, because there's going to be a lot of Shaq in a Fool moments. There's going to be a lot of great Charles Barkley sound bites out of it. Like, I'm excited for the narratives to come out of it, but I mean, if they walk away this offseason with Dalton Connect and even if they get DeMar DeRozan,
not good. DeMar would be
terrible.
They got Bronny though.
They have Bronny, so it's fine.
It seems like that's all they cared about.
Yeah, miserable. How do you not get Clay?
Yeah,
how do they not do that? His dad was a Laker. He's he's the ultimate Southern California beach. I love the ocean. I love surfing. Dork ever. How do they not get this guy in their building? I mean, and LeBron even said he'd take a pay cut, but I did see that it had to be a sign and trade, right? So they wanted to send back D'Angelo Russell.
The Lakers opted Russell,
which
and the Warriors we tried that,
and they're man, this team didn't Every team that has had D'Lo does not want him. The Lakers don't want him. The Warriors don't want him. Good luck, man.
I think it's so funny. You know who they can get back and just absolutely chalk their season? Just trade D'Lo for Brandon Ingram. Just bring back Brandon Ingram. Have LeBron run the
good.
1. Ingram plays at the 3, 80 at the 4, and you know what? You figure out the rest of the pieces later.
That's
on.
way
that would be
better than D'Lo, and way better than DeRozan at this point.
Yeah, DeRozan's
DeRozan's fine.
I don't know
what he does for them. He doesn't space the floor. He doesn't work well alongside those guys, I don't think. But no. We're turning into a big-time talk show because we're only talking about the Lakers today. It's miserable.
Yeah, well, the Lakers are the biggest team in the sport, unfortunately. So, and they had a lot of storyline. They are. You can't even deny that.
I can and will.
Yeah, y'all won the title. The Lakers are still the biggest
team
name in the
most
NBA.
Titles.
They have and the Lakers have fan base.
Boston's market compared to LA's market is nothing. So,
and they still have no fan base.
Why are you comparing yourself to the Lakers anyways? You can, in your mind, you can compare yourself high. You can put yourself higher. I'm not comparing the team's pedigrees. I'm comparing that the Lakers are still the biggest name in sports. because they have the greatest player in history on their team. They're in the biggest city in the country outside of New York. That's why the Lakers are the biggest name. Not because they're better than the Celtics. I'm not saying that at all. I don't think I'll ever say that again unless something crazy happens. So
proud of you.
It's okay. It's okay,
That's
Ryan.
growth. That's growth.
We are going to have to get to the Celtics at some point, though, because our precious Celtics, they're up for sale.
Go now.
They're up for sale.
They are.
Made my my heart sink into my stomach because I truly believe that we have one of, if not the best owner in sports. You know, he is like a
he dumped all his money in Sensia.
Yeah, I mean, like you got to give it to him. Like he did invest. But yeah, you look at, I mean, they're going to give out close to $1 billion in contracts over the next 5 years. And he's still going to remain the owner until 2028. So that'll oversee the duration of this core. Obviously, Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum should be here well beyond that, but at least the Porzingis Holiday White thing.
Yeah,
I don't know. Like these teams are getting so expensive. This is going to be upwards of $5 billion. I don't even know who out there. I mean, we've seen Jeff Bezos get active in sports.
Yeah, I would like to see Bezos.
I don't want that.
Just let Donald Trump buy the team.
Like that's the thing, though. We're phasing out these awesome, like these legacy owners and these new like hotshot business hedge fund guys. I mean, actually, Wick is a hedge fund guy, but like remember the Rockets owner who was the best, and then that asshole Tillman Fertitta comes in and just destroys the team. And now, I mean, they're working their way back up. But same thing with the Suns. They get these guys who want to win. They got to win right now. They got to flex right now, and they trade everything. And you know, I just don't want that for the Celtics. So, just hurts to see that.
Yeah, that's fair. But I will say that Wick played this masterfully because he's putting all this money into this team. He's going to be there until 2028.
Crazy.
Yeah, and then he's going to sell the team, make all his money back, and they're still going to be there. Hopefully, two more championships in that time. And he's going to make all his money back. And then I think that a lot of the old ownership from that group is going to stay around. I know that one of the other owners said that he's going to be bidding for the Celtics when the time comes. So I'm not as concerned as I was when I read the headline. I think it's going to be okay. Unless Robert Kraft decides to pony up, which I would be afraid of because I am growing weary of the Kraft family.
Well, he's also 100 years old, and I don't want Fenway Sports Group to get near it either. So,
well, yeah, but I also don't like Jonathan Kraft.
Fenway Sports Group is doing great things.
Fenway Sports Group is ruining teams in America and overseas. It's awful.
But they're killing everything they touch.
Doing Liverpool, it's terrible. This whole organization is terrible. Yeah, no, it's miserable. It's the definition of corporatism. Bad. Keep it away from sports.
Anyways, speaking of Fenway, Boston got better. Not really. They stayed the same, but they got better because of that. Mm-hmm. So Jason Tatum signs the highest paid contract in NBA history. I guess deserved because next year someone's going to sign another one.
Yeah.
So Tatum's,
and then 2 years from now, Brown's contract's going to look small.
Man in sports will be 1 year lived, and
we got to hear that from Ryan every episode. It's already looking small. Cade Cunningham signed a deal that it's like knocking on the door of the Brown deal. And it's like, okay, Cunningham's nice, but he's not a finals MVP. So
didn't Tyrese Maxey get 4 year, $200 million?
I think it's 5 years, 204. It's a ton of money.
Oh, is it 5? Okay. Still
it's a ton of money.
I mean, Tyrese Maxey. I mean,
you have to max it. You have to
5 year, 204.
But it's just that's what the numbers look like now. It's just crazy.
I mean, the feeling I would have in my stomach signing something like that, absolutely.
And
crazy.
think about this too. Like the NBA money's so crazy. Like, don't you think 10 years ago, if Chris Paul was at the end of his career, he would have just retired? But now he can sign an $11 million.
He's getting $11 mil.
It's not 1 or 2 mil now. And now it's $11 mil to go average 9 and 6 with the Spurs, the lowly Spurs.
He's averaging 10 assists a game. Don't get this twisted. With Wembanyama, all he has to do is just.
Is he starting? Does he start
time
on the Spurs?
He has to start.
Does he?
He's just a Trey Jones replacement.
Like, I don't know.
I mean, yeah, Castle's going to get minutes.
Castle.
You're not going to start him.
You should start Castle. Absolutely.
I think you should, at least to start the year, start CP3. And then when his age starts showing, which will be about 10 games in.
Why can't you start them both?
Then you start.
That should be your starting backcourt.
Because Devin Vassell exists.
Vassell at the 3. Or, the Spurs should be absolutely positionless and just play their 5 best guys, which should be Paul, Castle, Vassell, Sohan, and Wemby.
Sohan and all right, yeah, then start them both. Sure.
There you go.
This is assuming that Keldon Johnson is
on the team.
Oh, he got moved to the bench last year. Yeah,
yeah, but I feel like it was just not a punishment thing, but it was kind of like
it's a punishment for not being as good as he once was.
Trying to teach him a lesson of something.
The team getting better. The team passed him up.
Yeah, what happened? Yeah, he regressed and everyone else kind of.
Yeah, they all got better.
We'll see. I think Chris Paul is going to be averaging 10 assists a game, though. He has the easiest target in basketball.
Yeah. It'll be fun.
All you have to do is run pick and roll and just toss it up there. I mean, Chris Paul was the captain of Lob City for 6 years, 5 years.
He remembers.
Now, if you can replace Sohan in that starting lineup with Markkanen, wow. That's special.
No, I think what you do, you run it this way. At this point, you go Paul / Castle.
Yeah. Oh.
Vassell, Sohan, Markkanen, Wemby. Sohan's a great defender, and he's getting better shooting.
Sohan
is Sohan going to slow you down? But is he going to slow you down?
3.
Is he going to slow you down running the 3 though?
No, Sohan's gotten a lot better. He's gotten a lot quicker than he was last season or 2 seasons ago, I should say. Sohan's improved a lot more than what the numbers tell you. And I had to watch those games, and I watched the improvement that Sohan was making And the numbers don't tell everything because he was playing really bad when Pop decided he wanted to go senile and start him at the point guard.
That was fun.
For whatever reason.
He did become a better playmaker for it, though.
He did, but it was painful.
And now they have Stephon Castle as a result, though.
What are we doing? Yeah, sure.
You tanked and you developed one of your most versatile players.
So much better in the second half. The entire Spurs team played so much better in the second half. They finished the year. They won 8 out of their last 15 to end the year. That team looked a whole lot different than what they did night 1 against Dallas. I remember watching that. I was very sad as Luka does what Luka does. Anyways, we'll see. I don't really want to. That's the end of the Spurs talk because Spurs is not a big name here in the free agency right now. I wanted to. Dallas was big name. Dallas really took a step back. Denver took a step back.
Denver, man, what are they doing? They're wasting the best player in the world. We're just seeing his prime just go right on by. And look, they could make a move here. They could do something. Maybe they didn't want to sign KCP to maintain flexibility, but they didn't want to pay the tax or at least as big of a bill for Bruce Brown. I get it. They did absolutely nothing to fill out their bench, though, when he left. They just kind of bet that Christian Brown would step up and that Julian Strother and Peyton Watson would be those guys. They're rookies. They're young guys. They're not ready for that. Now that KCP, who plays so well off of Jokic and with that group, they just let him walk out the door. I don't know what the direction is here for Denver. They
need to realize that you have to spend money. You have to pay the luxury tax to win championships this year and in this era. You have to pay that money, and they're proving that they don't want to. And so what's going to happen with Denver? They're going to be a one and done.
Yeah, unless they play the Lakers.
Unless they play the Lakers.
They'll see an extra series. But yeah, I don't know. Denver, and I'm kind of glad because I hate Denver fans. they won that championship and they made sure you knew. I was like, I watched it. Don't worry. Like even y'all haven't even been bad, and y'all won. I feel like it was more like you were just waiting for the outcome, and
we took our day. We took our few days after the parade was done,
which is fine.
I didn't want
Yeah, it's time to go back to work.
I'll bring it up.
But these Nuggets fans are writing it still. They're like goodness, they were talking trash to Spurs fans. Are you serious? What? I don't care.
Yeah.
Congrats, you won. We suck. It was like Nuggets fans are awful. Anyways, so I'm glad downfall happened real quick.
Nice.
Congrats on your 1-year dynasty, morons. Sorry.
The Nuggets are gonna win.
If we went back and
they're gonna win another chip, and some Nuggets fan is gonna find this podcast
pissed.
and they're gonna clip that. Congrats on your one year dynasty, and it's gonna be the start of a TikTok edit.
Hey, that would be. That's fine, because that means we did something right.
That's true.
Any press is good press, at least for us at this stage.
Sometimes.
So now I will say slurt.
Oh
no. And get fired. I want to know here. Okay, I want to bring up a few. This is not a segment, but some really stupid signings. Okay. The first one's Jonas Valanciunas to the Wizards.
Stupid. Why? Because I like Valanciunas. It's a weird move because
Valanciunas is what is Washington doing?
I guess it's a tradable contract. I don't know what Washington's doing either, because they got Malcolm Brogdon, and I thought, they're immediately going to flip him.
Yeah.
Right? Immediately. And he's still on the team.
And they kept him.
So,
yeah.
I don't know. Are they going into the next season with that? I mean, it's going to win them some games, but they're not going to be
30 games.
Exactly. Like, is that what you want?
Cunningham stays healthy. I mean, so let's say hypothetically Cunningham stays healthy.
Wait, Cunningham?
I'm sorry, Washington. I'm tripping. Hypothetically, let's say
Jordan Poole,
Kuzma, and Jordan Poole can stay healthy and play well. If Jordan Poole wins back to his playoff,
well, Kuzma's good. Poole's not good.
If Poole can somehow go back to his 22 Warriors self,
he's done. That guy's dead.
Congrats, 30 wins at most.
That version of Jordan Poole died.
Is that what you want?
After that's the Draymond Green punch. It's unfortunate.
Yeah.
Good for Valanciunas,
I don't know
though.
why I said.
Good for him.
I
got paid.
In my
gets
mind.
Gets a lot of playing time. He gets to live in Washington D.C.
No, I mean $10 mil a year.
Yeah, I thought he would get more than that.
Congrats, you get to live in Washington D.C.
Man. He's still really solid.
He's old though.
Really good for New Orleans when they had him on.
Yeah, he was great. I like him. I like him a lot.
32. But, it's not like he's Paul George.
But
he
32 for a center is a little bit different.
LA Laker.
Was he?
Yeah, he's a big hulking player. He's not going to age as gracefully, but right now he could help a contender.
That's very true.
So if the Wizards end up trading him, sure, but they'd still have Brogdon, like you said. I don't know. I don't know where they're going.
I guess they can move both of those guys
not
for
a playoff
assets,
team, obviously.
But I don't know.
Move everyone. Move Kuzma.
Kuzma.
If you dangled Kuzma in front of the Lakers, bringing up the Lakers, they'd bite.
And that's a way better player for them than DeRozan or anybody else that they're looking at. Why? The Lakers are so, they're so cursed. They just look at their at names. They look at names. They don't look at actual fit or talent. They just look at DeRozan, big name. Clay, big name. Like
they want to sell tickets.
That's what they're here to do. They're here to sell tickets, sell jerseys.
No, they just want
to.
The Lakers, it's a spectacle, and it's a bad spectacle at that because they just have these aging big names that aren't going to win, and then we have to deal with the hype on Twitter where it's like, oh, they got LeBron and they got DeMar. Watch out, the Lakers are looking scary. No.
40 wins. No, you're right. I also want to bring up, stay in Los Angeles. Does signing James Harden, does Paul George leaving allow for James Harden to kind of, play better? I don't think so, but I'm like, and then like the Clippers signed Derrick Jones Jr. Like, sure, cool. Honestly, a great signing for $10 million a year. I think that's a great. Dallas really screwed that up. So the Derrick Jones Jr. is a great signing, but then you signed James Harden to $35 million. Like, what are we doing here? It's just a lot of teams 1 step forward and 4 steps back.
James Harden,
I just don't get the
man. His pull, and maybe his agent. I mean, god dang, dude, he's going to be making $35 million next season. And I'm the biggest James Harden fan ever. And he was good this year. He was really good this year. He's still one of the best playmakers, one of the best passers in the league. He's not a high level. He's not a super high level playoff performer. He's going to be awesome in like games 1 and 2, and then maybe the rest of the series he might suck.
Maybe 5.
Yeah, maybe a crazy game 5, and it's like then the Clippers lose in 5 games or 6 games. I don't know if they had to decide between George or Harden. I think George made up his mind a long time ago. Apparently, he was really rubbed the wrong way by Kawhi getting an extension, and then they didn't tell Paul George. Like that seems, I don't know. It seems like a lot of blowing smoke
up
each other's ass. I don't know.
I mean, we saw him and Joel Embiid on ESPN doing that whole thing, and Embiid was already recruiting him months ago. So whatever.
Is Paul George really going to tie
losing Paul George?
His legacies though. His legacy is tied to Kawhi, who can't be healthy, and now it's Embiid, who's maybe the only other guy in the league who's more unreliable than Kawhi.
Is that his legacy?
I mean,
what is Paul George's legacy? I don't even know.
Well, I don't know. I'm just like
fringe MVP.
He wants to be
what could have been
the
type
second
player
guy for 2 players who are historically unavailable. Now Kawhi is, he's already done a lot in this league. Obviously, he's going to be remembered.
Embiid's done nothing though, except MVP.
Yeah, the most fraudulent.
Which you could argue didn't even deserve that. Yeah, such a fraud. Terrible. And that's why I feel like SGA is going to get MVP next year, averaging like 15 free throws a game.
He's
Same
thing.
Yeah, unfun.
Not good.
So, yeah. So let's go real quick. We're starting to get towards the end. Let's go with our winners. Go 2 winners and 2 losers. We don't have to discuss them unless we have the same ones. Ryan, you can go first.
Okay, 2 winners. I'm going to say the Spurs are a winner. I am. I think Chris Paul is going to be a really great move for them and Wemby's development. And that's kind of the name of the game for them. It's get Wemby to the point he needs to be the guy on the team, to be a guy on a top team, and then fill in the gaps. And this is going to really set them up for that. I think Chris Paul is going to be amazing, not to mention the work he's going to be able to do with Castle and Devin Vassell and even Sohan, because he's going to be able to help Sohan with his playmaking. I think that's a really great move. And then if they get Markkanen, that's going to even push it over the top for me. Other winner,
or you just go loser.
Other winner, I'm going to say, what's that?
Just go 1-1.
Okay, 1-1. There we go.
Just go 1-1. Actually, I changed my mind. Yeah.
Okay, sounds good. And then my big loser is going to be the either Lakers, but honorable mention Mavericks, because the Lakers are a team that desperately need to get better, and they're just not. And they continue to refuse to build a cohesive unit around LeBron James, and you only have maybe another year or 2 with him. So I'm not moved. And then, the Mavs went to the finals and did what all these other teams have been doing and decided to get worse.
Yeah, that's a good one. All right, Spencer, go ahead.
Big winner, the biggest one. I won't live on this because we already talked about it. It's Oklahoma City. They're the biggest winner. I mean, 1 seed adds 2 huge pieces in Caruso and Hartenstein. On the fringes moves, they're smaller. These deals wouldn't put a team over the edge that wasn't already great, but Oklahoma City's already great. And they just got, they're terrifying to go against defensively. Big loser. We haven't said Miami once on this podcast, and that is why they are a huge loser.
That's why. Yeah.
The hell are they? I don't know what direction they're going. They were a miserable 8 seed that had to go through the play-in yet again this year. They did extend Adebayo, which is that's a win. Adebayo is one of the best one of the 3 or 4 best centers in the league. He's excellent. He is the center of their core, the center of their future. That's fine. He's not going to be the best player on a title team, though. So what's next? They have some players I like, but if you're going to run back Adebayo, Rozier, and Butler, who's going to be 35 at the start of next season, I think. I mean, you're not going to be up there. I mean, the top of the East, the West is the West, but the top of the East is still really good. Milwaukee is another loser in my opinion. I just they're not making any headway, and I didn't like their draft at all.
Yeah.
They're a team like the Lakers who should have taken a junior or a senior who was kind of a complete package. They took a guy from I don't even know what country, and he averages like 2 points a game. But Miami, I mean, it's so easy for me to hate on Miami. I can go on and on, but we heard about them. Earlier in the season, they were in the running for Donovan Mitchell. Donovan Mitchell's probably going to stay in Cleveland now. Now we're hearing that they might trade Butler, but they're probably just going to stick it out with Butler because I don't know what else they're going to do. I think it's time for them to flip script on this, maybe go in the rebuild direction. It doesn't mean you have to tank, but the Butler Adebayo thing, it's gotten you to 2 finals, but no hardware yet. We'll see. We'll see what they do.
Yep. That's good. My winner, Boston Celtics, able to keep everyone in that core. And it's not like it's not like any of them are regressing either. It's still the best team, best structure. They play the best together, and you kept them together at least for 2 more years?
At least for 2 more years.
Your window it's closing, but they were able to keep it open a little longer. So for that, I think Boston, is a winner that has not been mentioned by you. And then my loser is the Cleveland Cavaliers. Honestly, they're in limbo with Garland and Mitchell, and they haven't done anything yet. Obviously, it's very early. Anything can happen a lot can happen the next week, which I think will. But as of right now, let's say that free agency ended today. The Cavs, because that team's a 5th seed at best, they don't play well together, and I mean you got to get rid of Donovan Mitchell, or you got to get rid of Garland, and you got to get rid of one of the 2 guards. So
well, it looks like someone's got to
go, and they haven't done anything.
I think Mitchell's going to sign his max deal.
Yeah. And if you're going to sign Mitchell to a max deal, I'm not feeling it. Mitchell's not a player that is going to change series outcomes against teams like Boston, like New York.
Yeah.
It's just not going to happen. Personally. So, and they could have, I feel like they might have had a chance at maybe getting someone like Obi Toppin, and they just sat on their hands. I mean, you could have tried to push for someone maybe like Siakam. I know Siakam liked it in Indiana, so I mean, it was kind of a hard buy for them, but I feel like they just haven't done anything, and they need to get rid of one of those 2 guards.
They might just not know which direction they want to go. And I thought Garland was going to be,
and that's their fault.
I thought Garland was going to be on a new team by now. I thought San Antonio was a really good. I kind of thought that might be where he heads, but they clearly cannot run back that backcourt. I think you have to pay Mitchell because you traded for Mitchell and you were praying that he would sign this deal. I agree. He's probably not going to be the best player on a title team, right? There's very few guys like that. But the reality of this NBA, you have to pay. You got to pay to keep your guys. And that's still a good team. They do need to restructure.
It's a 4 seed. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean
it's a 4 seed.
I don't know what the direction is. I mean, they should be trending up. I think you can get a nice return for Garland. He's a very good player.
I think you can too.
So I think you need to pounce on that. And I don't know where that opportunity lies. There would be suitors for him. But I saw today that all signs are pointing towards Mitchell getting his big deal with Cleveland. Is he there in 2 years from now?
Yeah.
I don't know. Is he going to pull an AD, sign this deal, and then in a year ask out? Who knows? But for the time being, you got to keep your guys. But
yeah, you could also argue this is different, that the Sixers are a big loser because they're signing old players, and between Maxey and George alone, that's $92 million a year.
Yeah, but they'll be at the top.
At least they got rid of Harris.
They'll be super competitive. Obviously,
yeah, but
it all hinges on health. And Paul George played, I think, 75 games last year, or close to it. So that's great for him. But if Embiid can't be available come the postseason,
he was playing injured.
That's
the thing. He was playing injured because Kawhi wasn't playing. It was like, okay, thanks.
We do have to shout out the Knicks at some point, even though I think the Bridges deal was awesome and I wanted them to do it. They paid OG Anunoby a ton of money.
Yeah.
But they keep their team
42,
together
42
for the most part. I think Mitchell Robinson, I keep saying he might get traded, but he lost Hartenstein. I don't know what they're going to do with the center position. You can play the Villanova guys, and that's awesome, but you need
the Nova small ball.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're in a bad situation right now in terms of that. I want to see who is James Wiseman.
What?
You go get James Wiseman. Man, this is a rough class right here.
Gordon Hayward is out there
Rashawn
somewhere.
Holmes, Wiseman.
He's chilling.
Moritz Wagner.
Wait, where did Drummond go?
Good player.
Daniel Tice.
Where did Drummond go? Is he Philly? Yeah.
Sixers.
I like it.
Not bad pickup. $5 million.
He is great regular season Embiid insurance. I'll say that.
Xavier Tillman. Boston has yet to resign.
You just wait. He's coming back.
I hope so.
Xavier Tillman, more finals minutes than Joel Embiid, by the way.
Yeah.
Just want to make sure everyone understands that one. Taj Gibson. I didn't even realize he was still in the league.
He's putting his name on that list every offseason. He's not fooling anybody.
Yeah, so there's your Harry Giles. Remember that name? I know we were talking about big what Jason ifs Tatum's a long time ago.
H. Gizzle. He's going to be on the Celtics coaching staff soon enough. You just wait.
What a crate. I forgot he used to be, everyone was like, oh, that's the next. Yeah. Anyways, speaking of, we're going to play a game.
Oh, we had a game? Whoa.
One more game, real quick.
I didn't know we had a game.
Yeah, we got a game. If I can.
I gotta go to my second sheet of notes here. Whoa.
Is this episode 36?
Marcus Smart.
I think so. Okay. 1 and 2. I gotta make sure I remember which one's which. All right, here it is. And for those that are not watching and listening, go ahead and watch. What are you doing? Go watch on YouTube. It helps out. I want to get rid of. I want to stay on Spotify, but I want to, YouTube's where the bread is. All right, here we go. Let me share this window.
You can also watch us on TYBsports.com, which is technically YouTube, but it's fun. Oh,
who is this team?
Context this year?
Last year.
Okay.
Both teams I show you are going to be last year's teams. That's the only hint you're getting.
22.5,
so, get going.
19.6. 2 guard and the small forward. Pretty good bucket getters. It's always tough with the positions, though, because so many guys get listed kind of funny.
Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Well, oh yeah, no, I know how you have it listed, but the teams, you know what I mean?
Okay.
Right, what are we thinking? Who do we think that 22.5 could be? That's usually the best way to find this.
Ryan's cheating.
He's
using ChatGPT.
He's using NBA stat leaders.
I just have that acumen.
Oh, that's awful.
Actually used it correctly.
This team's not very good.
No.
Okay, we're gonna ask for hints slowly. Is this a playoff team?
I said I was only going to give you one hint.
Yeah,
is this
but
the Wizards?
Hints are part of it.
No, same division. I think. Hold on.
Oh God, Bro does not know.
I don't know divisions very well.
It's okay.
What'd you say?
I said the Wizards.
Oh no, they're not in the same division. I'm sorry.
But
I get all that mixed up. I get that mixed up.
Okay,
wait, hold on.
They're in the East. Yeah.
Okay,
there you go. Yeah, there you go. So there's your hint. Eastern Conference team.
Oh, is this the Nets? Let's go.
The Nets.
That 22.5 is Cam Thomas. That 19 is Mikal Bridges.
Yep.
Let's go.
Cam Thomas and Ryan was saying, and this is why I was waiting, because before we started, I believe Ryan had said that Cam
was
Thomas.
A star. I think he snuck that into the show.
Go ahead.
Good player.
Did
Volume scorer.
No. You don't get to walk it back now. You called him a star. Called him a high-level player.
Good player. Volume scorer. He scores at a high level.
He might be the worst
player.
defender in the NBA.
That's fine.
22 and a half is not high scoring. What are you talking about?
It's higher than the other players on his team.
That's a lot of points.
Keldon Johnson scored like 22 2 years ago.
That's
is Keldon Johnson elite? This is a bad team.
Team's terrible. Tough.
Yeah, Keldon Johnson, 22-23, the Wemby draft year.
He averaged 20.
Averaged 22 points a game. Yeah.
Will you have a cat?
Hey, kitty.
Hey, give us a purr.
Special
Can we get
guest.
A purr? Will, purr.
No. Oh, you want me to purr? Yeah, that's
Please
not
don't.
happening.
It's fun.
No, bro. What is that? How did that happen?
It's tracking. Look.
That better not be on the recording. That's going to piss me off. Stop
What
doing
else can
that.
we do?
If people can see that.
What else can we do?
Can you do this?
Hey!
You have to blur that.
Does it go? Yeah, you're going to have to blur that, buddy.
Too
much
much
post this on LinkedIn.
All right, do you have another one, Will?
Yeah, to blur it.
I do. All right, Antsy. Dang. All right.
This is the Warriors.
Same season.
This is the Warriors.
That was quick.
Nice pull.
What gave it away? 26.4?
No, 17.9. I looked at Clay today.
Oh, you serious? That's what gave it away?
Yeah, that's good.
That's crazy. I thought 26.4 was going to be blatant.
That's Steph. That's Clay. That's Wiggins.
Can we talk about Wiggins' regression?
Okay.
That's terrible.
Okay. Yes and no. He did once upon a time average like 23 a game, but also 2 years ago was a little bit fluky. Remember he was an
It was because Jordan Poole's not on the
starter?
team anymore.
Yikes.
And he didn't deserve to start, but he deserved to be an all-star that year.
That's questionable. It's because that K-pop
I think he
artist
should have been there.
tweeted him, and then he got like 1 million retweets.
K-pop.
He averaged like 24 or 22. I did.
So he scored a high amount of points, so he was a good player that deserved recognition.
He also played defense, dolt.
Wiggins, if Wiggins could just live up to being the number 1 overall pick he is, the Warriors would be fine. But because he's the most inconsistent, incompetent loser who takes off half the season every year for personal matters. Look, I know you got stuff going on, but this is 2 straight years of just disappearing for 2 months, and Steve Kerr just coddles him. Hey, buddy, it's okay. We're only fighting for the 10 seed. Can you play? No, I'm going to go screw off in Cancun or wherever he goes. And Canada, wherever. Yeah, watch him ball out in the Olympics this year. Actually, I don't even know if he's good enough for that team. That team's good. So
he's on that team.
He shouldn't be.
Yeah. Oh, no, he's not. Steve Kerr blocked him from playing.
Just on a Wiggins vendetta.
I forgot about that story.
Because he sucks. He needs to be in the gym. He needs to be practicing. Just dumb idiot.
Yeah, Steve Kerr is holding him hostage. So
I didn't mean to go on a Wiggins thing, but it's just so annoying. I mean, like, dude, you're being paid $50 million a year to play next to Steph Curry. Can you just play for half the season? 3/4 of the season?
Yeah. Hey, look at Kuminga down there. 16.1.
Yeah, the Kuminga rise is
Kuminga could be good next year. His volume's going to go way up.
Going to be an electric 11 seed, bro. It's going to be awesome.
I'm about to say, don't count him out for. I was going to say, don't count him out for an 8 seed, but yeah, 11 seed, anywhere from 8 to 11. They'll compete. Maybe a play-in game or two. We'll see.
We'll finally get a Moses Moody season.
Alrighty.
Maybe.
We will. Finally.
Yikes.
He's not that bad.
He's fine. Good shooter.
He's not that. Yeah. All right. Ryan, go ahead and take us on home.
I'm passing it off to Spencer this week.
TYB does ASMR.
Spencer, you've been passed the mic. Go ahead.
Do I have to whisper?
No.
Oh, I thought we were going to start TYB ASMR channel.
No. ASMR. That's the new podcast.
I was going to go hard.
Not the other ones we have in the works.
All right. Well, I'm proud of myself for making it through this episode because I have not eaten. I am shaky. I have the shakes. I am congested. I want to blow my nose so bad. But we got a good episode in. This was episode 36. Shout out to Marcus Smart. Love you. Miss you. Brian, good episode today. Don't you think?
Thanks for the ring.
Yeah, it was good. We got to play games and
Brian's gone. Well, great episode today. We recapped a lot of free agency. We still have some of it going on this week. Maybe we'll pack in some of the news we miss in next episode. Bronny James to the Lakers. Don't forget it. Don't forget it.
Best pick of the draft.
Will.
Bronny James is a Hall of Famer.
Will, give me something. Give me a parting shot.
Shout out Chris Paul. Spurs legend.
Shout out Chris Paul.
I will be contributing to your jersey sales. You're welcome. Shout out
One jersey sold to Will Glover.
17-year-old cat.
17. We're still waiting on him to give us a purr.
Yeah.
18
All right,
next
guys.
year.
Thanks so much for watching. Check us out on tybsports.com, TYB Sports on Instagram, wherever else you go on the internet. All right. See you next week.